All right, so we're gonna break it down for a standard operating procedure. Essentially, that's what we're gonna maybe work on. What does that mean? How do we operate our business effectively, and what's the standard for that? Okay, so for example, say I run a big old hair brand business, which lots of people like to run hair brand businesses, which I like because you need it and it's important. However, it kind of gets a little messy when you don't actually have policies and procedures and an operating guide. So say if I'm the owner, I own a shop, I've got 4 or 5 people in here. What the heck do they do and how do they do it? When do they pay? How do they pay? What happens if someone's late? What happens if someone cancels? What's the upkeep of the shop and how is the shop upkept? What happens if they're late too many times? And what happens if for some reason they leave something on and it causes damage to my facility? This is our standard operating procedure. Every owner of a company should have that, and it should actually make sense and be gone over by every single employee that's in there. It's kind of like if you were working in corporate America. You get an employee handbook. That employee handbook is going to address every single behavior that they've run into. Whether it happens or it doesn't happen, that's not the question. It's about us preparing for something that could happen that's outside of the ordinary, and it provokes some type of a result. Some type of decision has to come from that. That's your SOP. Okay, great. Does that follow you? Does that help you? If not, don't worry, keep going. Whatever business that you have, whatever thing that you operate, you need to put some type of policy in place so that you know what to do when it comes to your customers, when it comes to your product, when it comes to your day-to-day activities, when it comes to each type of event or organizational meeting, each type of outing that you have. Any of it, you have to have it. Contracts are just not good enough. And I know that nobody wants to hear that, but it's the truth. A contract is only going to address certain terms and conditions, and typically that's going to be between you and the party that's signing the contract. Your operating guidelines, your policies and procedures are for your entire organization. A lot of times you hear people say, plan to run your company like it's $1 million company. That's because they've created some standard operating procedures and they know what to do and how to do it. It would be no different if you were sitting down doing a SWOT analysis for your company. You want to know your strengths, your weaknesses. You want to have an analysis of that. You want to know what your competition is doing. That's the point of you doing it, and you got to get a result from that. So I suggest if you don't have any policies and procedures in place, start with the bare minimum. Who are you? What do you do? What do you sell? What's your vision, your mission? What do we do for the basics? If we're dealing with customers on a day-to-day basis, how do we deal with them? What's the point of us dealing with them? What do we expect from them and what do they expect from us? It has to be both parties and you both have to be very, very accountable in those respects. This way, when things arise and they come up, you don't have to worry about trying to figure it out. You always want to be proactive and not reactive when it comes to your standards. You always want to make sure that you have an answer and you want to have something to build on. I know this video was a lot, and I know that you still have some questions and some concerns, but I assure you as a creative, this is something that is the most important thing of your brand. It's the heart, the backbone, the beating of your organization, and it's something that is incredibly important. If you have any questions or concerns, of course, you know I'm here, but I think that you can do it, and don't just Google it. We've really got to stop regurgitating Google, guys, okay? Because it's not really effective for your brand or anybody else's. Google's for everybody. It's a worldwide community. So, until next time, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Let me know if you're struggling with some areas of your policies and procedures. Let me know if something's not making sense to you. Let me know if you need some assistance in that, because this is something that's needed across the board in everything that you do. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon.